On this edition of The American Veteran, we'll show you how the GI Bill is helping veterans find jobs in the aeronautics industry. A special group of veterans trained by VA to serve as caretakers in the National Cemetery Administration will meet veterans supporting other veterans through peer-to-peer interaction and see how veterans share, in their own words, how VA's core values have affected their lives. Welcome to The American Veteran. I'm Jonathan Kopanger, a Navy veteran. And joining me is our active duty host, MC1 Jen Blake. Welcome, Jen, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, Jonathan. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for yours as well. VA's post-9/11 GI Bill education benefits are helping veterans get certified and find jobs in an exciting field, the aeronautics industry.
When the students leave here at this particular school, Pittsburgh Institute of Aeronautics, they will leave here with a certificate that gives them the authority to work and sign off their own paperwork on aircraft.
This is that passageway that I'm showing you. It's going to mix with our fuel to help atomize it going into this boost venturi.
Teaching here at PIA and my interest in aircraft all started from the Air Force. I worked on aircraft engines while I was in the military, a particular engine, the J-58, which is on the SR-71 Blackbird. I think a lot of people know what that aircraft is. I was kind of an elite part of the Air Force working on that. I want to make sure everything's done before we close up this cylinder. Good. You can get an airframe certificate or a power plant certificate, but what we like the students to do here when they leave is to gain both certificates so they can do anything they need to do on an aircraft. There you go.
The FAA offers separate certifications for bodywork or airframe mechanics and engine work or power plant mechanics. Veterans Stacy Powers and Mark McCrae are heading to electronics class.
97.
The first step toward the FAA-required A&P mechanic license.
I found out from a friend that PIA took the post-9/11 GI Bill and the Montgomery GI Bill, and I applied, and I got 100% benefits, so I was really excited to come here. Once I graduate here, I'll take my A&P license that I get from this school, and I'll take my career that I had in the military, and I'll go forth and try to get a job with a helicopter company.
I knew about my GI benefits from the moment that I got in. I knew that it was going to help me out in the long run whenever I was done. And I mean, why not go to school for free if I have the opportunity to?
David Smith is also using his benefits for education at PIA.
I had my bachelor's degree, and I decided I wanted to transition into a certificate program. So I still had the benefits that I could use to get my education in aviation maintenance. 17. It's been great that I can go into different avenues and I still have the benefits to help me out.
Veterans with work experience will have a leg up on the competition.
A veteran does have a really good chance as far as getting a higher pay than somebody who does not have military experience. A lot of employers look at that because they're structured in their work ethic. You know, they have certain rules they abide by and they know these rules. We don't like breaking rules in this industry. So for them to get their experience and their training in the material and the structure they get and the training from anywhere for that matter will bleed out into the workforce that they're going to be going to.
This is good news for Stacy, who worked on the B-1 bomber while in the Air Force.
When I worked on the B-1 bomber, it was exciting. It's a really cool plane. You see it come in and knowing that something's broken on it. And if you have to, you drop the engine and you troubleshoot, see where the problem is. You fix that part and run engines and see if it works, and if it starts up, and you get to see it take off. It's like a pride thing. You're happy that you fixed that and you got to see it fly off. I've always been good at working with my hands. I've always wanted to do something that doesn't require sitting behind a desk. I get bored with that kind of stuff, so being out and working with things and working with tools, it always seemed a lot better with me. I learned like that. Once I'm out, I've been told that I am like top of the list. They want females and they want veterans, so I'm pretty excited to see what kind of opportunities come.
Use your benefits. They're there and they've been established for you to get an education, get the training, because it just betters yourself and you can make yourself more marketable when you get out there in the civilian world.
For many veterans, readjusting to civilian life can be a major challenge. particularly for those who have experienced homelessness. But there is help and support. More than a dozen veterans recently graduated from a year-long VA-sponsored training program and have become full-time employees in the National Cemetery Administration.
Thousands of fallen soldiers and veterans are laid to rest with dignity and respect in 131 national cemeteries across the country. It is the country's way to give honor and a final resting place to those who gave their lives for freedom. Now these veterans, known as the First 13, will be caretakers of this hallowed ground through the NCA's Homeless Veterans Apprenticeship Program.
The individuals working at the cemetery grounds, the sacred grounds, these individuals understand how we care for our loved ones that have fallen.
The year-long training program gives veterans who have fallen on hard times the skills and tools to become national cemetery caretakers. It was also designed to support Secretary Shinseki's initiative to end veterans' homelessness by 2015.
I'd like the graduates to know that you're part of a large and good organization, part of this VA team.
You want to walk up here? These are all the beautiful memorials that we have on this trail.
Brian Taylor is one of the first to join the apprenticeship program. For years, he went from job to job. But once he was introduced to the apprentice program, something changed in him.
And that's the biggest thing I've never had, really, is pride, and people appreciate not only my fellow coworkers, but the family members that come out there and you help them, and they'll tell you, oh my gosh, this place looks so beautiful, thank you for taking care of it. And that is a most gratifying thing I've ever had in my life. I've never had that in a job before. And when I go home at night, you know, I go home with my head held high.
So you have been in this program for how long?
1 year.
A year. For 1 year.
The men in this first graduating class feel the same way. They are proud and respectful of what they are accomplishing and ready to work. For years, Stephen Fessler has worked as part of NCA. He can feel the excitement of those who have a new lease on life.
What has been the most rewarding thing that one of you have done at a cemetery?
I was allowed to put in the headstone for Sherman Hemsley. The actor, he was a vet.
You find out that the veteran is an oversized casket. What do?
Safety planks on the side.
Jose Montez is working at the Puerto Rico National Cemetery. Before the program, he was homeless for 3 years. Without a home and a job, he lost custody of his children. Then the VA gave him his chance to enter into the apprentice program.
It has turned around my life 360 degrees, and I feel very happy and enjoying myself right now. I feel proud. It is rewarding to serve to the veterans, their families, their dependents.
Jose worked hard, and with his new skills and a job, his life is turning around.
VA helped me get the custody of my children back. That's very important for me.
Francisco Zappas is a caretaker at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. He lost everything because of an alcohol problem. But he too entered into the program and chose to make a difference in his life.
It's been like a lifesaver, you know. I'm going to use the word miracle, but once in a lifetime opportunity. It's turned my life around.
In fact, these men feel so bonded and respectful of being the caretakers of those who have served and died for their country that wherever they are on the cemetery grounds, when they hear taps, they stop to pay their respects.
It's sacred ground, and you just feel the honor of being there, of doing something so fulfilling.
These men were just a few of the thousands of veterans that are homeless today. But this apprenticeship seems to have struck a chord to make them want to change.
The troops don't care what you know until they know that you care.
The designers of the program say they knew this was not just a job for these men, but a mission that only those that have served could understand.
These veterans just need to know that you care. When I met with these veterans a year ago, the first 2 words I said to them was, "Welcome home."
Dignity.
As his first 13 graduate and get certified as National Cemetery caretakers, you can see that these men have come home.
You will be the last to serve our nation's veterans, the last to stand watch while they sleep, the last to keep Lincoln's promise to care for those who shall have borne the battle.
The graduating apprentice caretaker class of 2013.
And being entrusted with that mission has taken 13 men off the streets and has given them their dignity back.
Many veterans are finding the encouragement and support they need by sharing their stories with their peers, other veterans who have faced the same challenges readjusting to civilian life.
I come home from deployment. I got off the plane. This gal walked up and spit on me. And, you know, I can still see her face today. We've really felt that America turned its back on us. We needed somebody to say they really cared about us.
Hey, Steve, how are you today?
Now, veterans like Stephen Everett have that opportunity, thanks to a team of VA peer support specialists.
We as veterans, we want to be heard. And oftentimes I hear from my veterans that they feel like they're always talked to, but not quite listened. So peer support, we're here to listen. There was a time in my life where I was without hope. I just assumed that my life was worthless after the military. I served in the 82nd Airborne Division. I was an infantryman and paratrooper. Back home, I would have panic attacks and not understand what was going on with me. I actually thought I was having a heart attack. I really try to share with other veterans my own experience in that, and because we can't always explain why something was as traumatic as it was.
I think the biggest benefit is that we have someone here on staff that can speak to veterans in a way that as clinicians we just aren't able to do. He can share with them his own experiences with what he's been through, but also in his recovery path.
I've gone through recovery. I'm at a different stage in my recovery where I feel comfortable sharing with others. When I'm asked, you know, what made you want to become a peer support specialist? When I would think back to all I've been given from the VA in my own road to recovery, being given the chance to help facilitate that for other veterans, I mean, nothing else would fit my life as far as a career. This is really, truly what I love doing.
I know veterans out there, Vietnam veterans especially, my era, don't understand that there is help out there for them. And there's guys that are out there that are skeptical like I was, who don't believe there is help for people with PTSD, or if you have a drinking problem or a drug problem. But there is help.
Veteran peer support helped former Army Staff Sergeant Bernard McElroy overcome substance abuse and depression. Now, he's a peer support specialist himself at the VA in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Paying it forward is my motivation of wanting to be a peer support, because someone reached out and touched me and helped me when I needed the help. Advocating for yourself. We inspire hope, we encourage, we motivate from our own lived experience. And that goes a long way with veterans today.
VA has established a set of core values and characteristics that apply across the entire VA organization. These values are known by the acronym I-CARE. Here in the words of the veterans we serve is a declaration of the core values we live by every day.
I got into service in 1980 in the United States Air Force. I was in the Army, military police, sergeant.
Staff Sergeant, United States Air Force, and I'm retired.
I was in the military for a combined total of about 11 and a half years.
I was an ammunition weapons specialist.
I joined the United States Marine Corps in February of 1974.
I was United States Army.
My specialty was a 63 Bravo light wheel vehicle mechanic.
It was 50 pounds of HME, and it blew up right next to my truck, almost within a foot of where I was sitting.
I had heart issues. I had cardiovascular disease.
And they said, yes, you have a severe hearing loss in your ear.
I was in a helicopter crash in central Afghanistan, which paralyzed me from the chest down.
And in 2005, I had my first heart attack of 3.
If someone said, well, you were in the military, you can go to the VA.
It took a lot of courage for me to admit to myself that I needed help.
My thoughts about the VA prior to me using it were pretty much non-existent. Never in a million years did I ever think that I would be using it to the extent that I am today.
I knew that the Veterans Hospital was supposed to be there to help me and to assist me.
Years ago, I would not have gone to the VA because the VA had a very bad reputation. There's been a transformation in what the VA should do for the people who serve their country, and it's made a huge difference.
Integrity means that you take your job seriously, that you really care about the veteran, that you're not just there getting a paycheck, that you really like what you do and you really care.
The integrity that each doctor carries with them as far as wanting to get the job done correctly, it's refreshing. If you as a provider can go one-on-one and they listen to what you're saying because they have the trust in you, it makes a difference.
Commitment. I learned that in the military. At 17 years old, at 18 years old, commitment, you follow through. So when I go to the VA and my doctor says he's gonna do something, I don't have to wonder if it's gonna happen.
Hi, Jamil.
We have various clinics, like mental health clinic, GI clinic, eye clinic, a dental clinic. They're all committed to provide the very best care to the veterans who come.
Any problems that you have, they will listen to you, and if there's something that they can do, they'll do it.
My doctors, they since day one have been committed to getting me the things that I need, to making sure that my needs are met, to make sure that I'm getting the medications that I'm doing.
They are very much an advocate, not just for me, but I think all veterans.
It is very important to have an advocate inside the VA system. They strive to get you the things that you need.
I actually have a patient advocate on speed dial. She's almost family. First day I was in at the hospital, she came and saw me, and she's amazing.
I love the fact that whenever I ask a question of them, they're willing to give me that little bit of education.
Treating you with respect. That was missing before as a veteran. You were not getting the respect.
All the nurses and doctors, what they deliver, it's about respect. They treat you like you're a patient, but it goes beyond being patient. It's just like being a friend.
They respect the patients and who comes in because they realize they're people too.
When I do tell them, hey, I am a United States Marine, I did serve my 4 years, they respect that I went in to protect their freedoms.
Excellence is a level of competence that we all try to achieve. And the measure of it is how we achieve it and what we perform.
Thank you, sir.
I see the kinds of things that the VA is doing to make the VA better. Everything from their inspection scores to the improvements around the hospital, they're striving to reach excellence every day. From their nurses to their cleaning staff to their executives. Everyone tries to make the VA a better place.
Not only is this a good system, but they pay attention. And I am a vet, and I'm special in that arena. And I fell in love with the system.
It's something I would recommend to everybody, is a vet, no matter what you are, no matter what era. It's worth it.
I'm very grateful that there's a VA medical center in any place that you can have the privilege to go to take care of yourself.
I feel that camaraderie when I walk through the doors, and I just feel like I'm part of something.
It's about treating you the right way, the way that I, as a veteran, want.
The VA has been good for me. They're still taking care of me to this day, and it works.
They're a top facility. Patient care, equipment, attitudes, treatment, this is just all top shelf. You're not a number, you're a person, and they care.
Someone asked me, why are you going to the VA? I said, I'm telling you, it's changed. I chose to go to the VA because when I went there, the service and the honesty that the people gave me, the treatment, was just fantastic. And if I'm getting good service with good people who care, I'm going to do that.
Next time on The American Veteran. See how a partnership between VA and the Department of Defense helped this wounded Marine set a course for recovery. We'll visit a group that's working hard to end homelessness among veterans in Roanoke, Virginia. Meet two veterans who are taking their military experiences to the classroom. And a story about a Gulf War veteran you won't want to miss.
That concludes this edition of The American Veteran. The Department of Veterans Affairs is honored to bring you this program.
If you would like to get in touch with us or obtain more information about VA benefits and services, call us at 1-800-827-1000 or visit our website, va.gov. And if you're a veteran who's troubled in some way, please call the Veterans Crisis Line at 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255.
Thank you.